So it's all good stuff. It was the result of a ton of hard work by a lot of people. So yeah, it was kind of necessary in that we didn't really have a place to put a second Model 3 body line. So it's like we either make this one go faster, or we will not be able to achieve production. But the Model 3 body line in Shanghai is much simpler than the one in, and I say that in a good way, because it has the same end result. So if you know, but it's a much easier to understand. There's just getting rid of unnecessary movement. There's a lot of unnecessary movement in the Fremont body line, but not in Shanghai.
So you guys said in the production letter that you just started battery production in Shanghai too, and I heard that you guys were getting cells from CATL and LG Chem. Are the cells basically kind of like a commodity part that you can assemble into your battery packs there, or does it make a difference? How do you see that long term?
I believe these cells are not yet from LG. We do expect to use locally produced cells, but I don't. To be clear, I don't always know exactly what's going on everywhere in the 50,000 person company. So some of the things, like most of the things I say will be correct, but there may be occasionally something that's not. As to the best of my knowledge, we're not yet using LG Chem cells. We're using Panasonic cells made in Nevada.
But LG Chem can make pretty much the same cells as Panasonic?
Yes, but pretty much is not the same as same. So there's still a few bugs to work out with the LG Chem cells before we can use them in our module and battery pack production system. The CATL cells, or the CATL situation will be more of an integrated module than it will be a cell, and that's so that it's not just. It's not super easy to replace these things, but we do expect to use CATL. We do expect to use LG. Currently, we're using Panasonic. When I say expect to use, I mean like literally a matter of months. So by the middle of this year, we probably be using both LG and CATL in volume.
Wow.
So we were talking about a lot of Tesla stuff, but we kind of wanted to ask you about your personal history, because you were saying how there's some misconceptions you would like to make straight. And Ashley Vance wrote a book about you. I just read May's lovely book, and it was really wonderful. I loved it and learned a little bit more history about your family and you. But what are some of the misconceptions that you would like to correct?
Most of this is just ended up being kind of water under the bridge that people didn't notice that much. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a sort of some stories in there where it sounds like I fired people all of a sudden and arbitrarily, which was not the case. It just actually asked somebody who didn't know what was going on, and then that person was suddenly not there, and they didn't know why.
Yeah.
But I definitely do not fire talented people, unless there's no option. So.
Yeah.
And absolutely not without warning.
I keep hearing you say "we." Like, it sounds like you're always thinking of everybody. I see you as a very selfless person in your endeavors. Yeah. I mean, seriously. I mean, yeah. It's like from the age of 12, it sounds like you've been thinking about how to help humanity.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to be sort of like some, the sort of savior or something like that. But it's really just that. If it just seems like seems like the obvious thing to do. Again, I'm not sure why you do anything else. We want to maximize happiness of the population and propagate into the future as far as possible, and understand the nature of reality. And from that, I think everything else follows.
I saw you on Twitter, talking about how like people are having this rumor that you've been wealthy your whole life, and that would be like the only reason you became successful. And you've debunked that. And can you like share more about your upbringing and what led you to going to North America when you?
Sure. I was in South Africa, and it seemed like wherever there was, like a lot of the advanced technology in the world was being produced in America, and there's Silicon Valley especially. So I wanted to be where I could sort of have an impact on technology. So that's or be involved in the creation of new technology. So that's what prompted me to go to at first Canada, because I could get citizenship in Canada through my mom, and then ultimately to the U.S. But yeah, I just left South Africa when I was 17 and landed in Montreal. I had like, I don't know, about $2,000 Canadian. So I was staying in a youth hostel for a few days, and then there was this, you could buy a ticket to go across the country for $100 and stop along the way. And so I bought that and just took a Greyhound across Canada and saw all these like little towns. Well, we were getting. I didn't have much. I had like a backpack and a suitcase of books. But the bus company, Greyhound, unloaded it in one of the cities, and then the bus left without my stuff.
Oh, that's nice.
So I literally had nothing.
All your books.
Well, your clothes too?
Actually, weirdly, I think I might have had the books thing, but not my clothes.
That was priorities.
All you needed.
Yeah, because I was just sitting in the bus station reading, waiting for the bus to get ready. Yeah. And I think I had the books, but no clothing. So, anyway, but I managed to get to Swift Current, Saskatchewan, and then it's your cousin's son, yeah, has a wheat farm there, and I worked on the wheat farm for about 6 weeks.
Wow.
So I turned 18 in Saskatchewan. It's in this town called Swift Current.
So that was summertime, right? It was June.
Yeah, June 28th.
So, because I've been there in the winter and it's like minus 40.
Yeah.
You don't want to be traveling there.
Yeah.
Did you ice skate? Did you try ice skating?
No, it was quite warm.
Okay. Well, I mean, in the winter. Did you stay for the winter?
Were you there in the winter?
No, I was there for about 6 weeks.
Oh, you're lucky you survived. That's good.
Yeah, so I was
It's cold there.
literally working on the wheat farm. We did a barn raising and I cleared out the wheat bins, the grain silos, that kind of thing. And I just worked the vegetable patch, basically just doing various things.
Was your mind just thinking of what you're going to do after that?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what I do next. Don't know what to do. But I ended up getting back on the bus and went to Vancouver. And I had a half uncle there who was kind of in the lumber industry. He made lumber equipment.
Sounds like the Northwest.
Yeah, basically. So I ended up chainsawing logs and working on this lumber mill and cleaning out the where they boil the pulp in these crazy sort of boiler rooms.
Yeah.
Wow. And that might be the hardest job I've had, actually, because you have to crawl through this little tunnel in a hazmat suit, and then with shovel and then shovel this sort of steaming sand and mulch out of the boilers to clean them out.
Wow.
And you have to there was only one entrance or exit, which is this little tunnel. If you're claustrophobic, it would be real bad. And then you shovel the sand and the